Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and whenever you are. Today's another video. Like always promised, I'll make a video every single day until the infinity, till the infinity. And as you can see, it's dark, and I'm making this video inside my closet because it's very dark outside. I came home late, but commitment is to make a video every single day, no matter what I say, what I do. I just want to make a video today. And I'm just today I was working on the same problem that I had, the conditional versus unconditional cash transfer. And I was trying to see what happens when you give people money, and you want them, and you control them to do what you want them to do. So I just had to do some homeworks, and same thing. I woke up early in the morning like I always do, get some breakfast, catch the bus, and got to school, did some homeworks, and all that. So not much today. I didn't do much really. I didn't know attend the webinars. I didn't know attend anything, but I'm gonna start sharing what I'm gonna be doing for my internship. Starting this Friday. This Friday I have a job fair coming up at school. I'm also starting my new internship, which is private equity investments, whatever. Then I'm also starting a Adobe GoPro, like Adobe skills, so things like editing. So already today I enrolled in the new course. It's hosted by I think creative skills, whatever that is. So it's like it's like a school that partners with Adobe. They train people to run things like how to use AI, how to make good content. So I'm already making content already on my camera, so I'm gonna be making this probably visually better and more exciting, throw in some statistics and all that stuff. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk about things that I saw today. It was raining in DC. Not much was going on. But I think that as it's getting raining, as it's getting cold, I need to think about moving closer to my school so I don't have to commute as much. But again, I'm still debating whether what I should study, because this what I'm doing right now, which is the comparing between cash transfer and control cash transfer and uncontrolled cash transfer, is to debate which option is better. So I think it would be fair for me to do this video right now, because I'm gonna be writing an essay, and they might also post this on LinkedIn as well, looking at how much can you do the math. I did the math, so I have to find out the optimal maximizing the utility, finding out the optimal consumption, and then trying to see if you give people money with zero condition, no string attached, they both become aware of. So if you give people some money, I don't know, maybe $50, $10, they can go out there and buy whatever they want. Now, when I say these things, I speak from my own intuition. I make my own judgment. So I will say things like, give people money, then make sure they can buy alcohol or pay rent. However, I just learned that from my professor and from my colleagues is that as an economist, you don't actually tell people what to do, right? If you want to solve this problem, we assume that people, they want to make their own decisions. Can people be trusted to make their own decisions? I think one of the things I learned from my economics class in undergrad is, can we trust people? Like if we give people money, like you see people who are poor, right? If you give them free money on top of what they already earned, can we trust that they will do the right thing? If you find a homeless person on the street and they're struggling and they have like $1 in their own hand, and they use that $1 to buy drugs, but then you ask them, why are you doing drugs? And the response is, I'm doing drugs because I'm poor. If you give them, $100, are they gonna use that money to do something important, or are they gonna use it to buy more drugs? And according to the research that I read last time, research, conditional and unconditional, more money, people will consume more drugs. They might buy the things that they need, food, clothes, but they're not going to improve. They're just gonna keep buying the same stuff. But if you do control people, so you put the controlling, so you tell people, hey, if you get food stamp, make sure you buy food, but you cannot pay rent, you cannot buy shoes, you cannot buy alcohol. People will still buy food. You give them $100, they buy food, but it doesn't make them happy. It doesn't make them excited, because they are not buying things that they want to buy. Maybe they want to buy food, maybe they want to eat, maybe they want food stamp to buy alcohol, maybe they want food stamp to buy a brand new shoes. These choices is what economists think, are the things that we also think about, and they are the things that we also tend to focus on policies. How can we shift consumptions around by imposing policies? I also realized that when I pass policies, so for example, if I want people, last time I mentioned how people in America, they are having healthy issues. If you give people Medicare, right, and the Medicare is specifically going to be used to go to hospital, what's the possibility that people are going to a hospital? What's the possibility that people are going to visit the hospital? And the chance is maybe not. But as I advocate for inexpensive or cheap healthcare system in America, advocate for rent, advocate for cheap food, does giving people vouchers and money that limits them to buy that specific thing, does that make them better? Does it make our society better? It turns out, if you give people, if somebody wants to go to a hospital and they have raw income, by some certain amount of income, you give them more money, they are going to afford the hospital because they want to go to hospital. It's something they wanted to. But if somebody like me, I don't go to hospital, but I don't get that money, right? And at some point I choose to go to hospital, the price of me going to hospital is going to be very expensive, so when you pass the policies, and you favor certain people, you actually end up hurting other people. So that's what I learned in this economics process, this economic classes, is how when you pass these prices, you kind of influence some other, you are hurting other people or you're benefiting other people, one way or the other. You're not solving the problem, you're shifting one problem to another problem. Another thing that I ran yesterday and I ran also today is that everything that I say, everything that I do, whether it's policies, whether it's economics, whether it's some of my ideas, I learned that I am nobody to impose my own opinions on other people. Like when you hear things like, you should get food stamp, you should get a certain amount of money, like certain income, all of that is an assumption that we put on people. Like we create those things, like we come up with these policies, but we're not supposed to do that. We are nobody to impose what other people should do. We are nobody to say this country is poor, therefore should be rich. Like we are judging other people. Actually, I never thought about this for a moment. But Professor told me yesterday that as humans, we have the moral thinking. Especially when we are Christian, you're trying to impose your own Christian beliefs, your own understanding, the moral good, what is good, what's bad. Then you trying to push people towards doing something that you want them to do. So for instance, a person an economist who doesn't care about moral good, doesn't care about people in general, is not a Christian, an atheist who will say it's okay, give people money, they can buy alcohol. But an economist who is good moral and good value would say, we cannot give people money to buy alcohol because alcohol makes them bad. Instead, we can give people money to put their children in school, go to the hospital, pay rent, get nutritious good food. All of that is the policies that we impose on people, based on our own beliefs, based on our own understanding, based on our own ways of seeing things. And this is not always good. It is not always the best thing to do, but we do it. We do it every day, and we don't think about it. We don't care as much. But as humans, we impose policies. We tend to tell people what to do. Like I oftentimes say, I think United States should invest money in the United States instead of buying overseas. But who gets to decide? Who gets to say that? Who gets to decide? Who gets to decide why we shouldn't make stuffs in China instead of United States? And oftentimes I tend to think that I'm not biased, but I realize that I'm biased when I say we should make houses cheaper. When you make them cheaper, somebody who's selling those houses is not making profit. So who am I to say somebody needs to get paid this money so somebody's gonna get a house? It's because I have my own preference. Right. Not only do you impose the policies to other people, you impose an opinion how people should be. But you get used to it. You get to understand that in order for a society to move forward, you just can't. I knew this before I went to my graduate program, and I know this is gonna come up in my microeconomics class in the future, coming weeks. But you don't just assume people will consume the best optimal possible, because at some point, people don't make the right choices, right? And if McDonald's had a burger and cocaine, people will still consume cocaine despite being bad. So McDonald's had to sell only food for people instead of selling cocaine. These moral valued moral beliefs stems into us as humans simply understanding that we do try to impose policies, we try to impose ideas, we try to impose beliefs on other people, even though we know clearly that these things aren't the right thing to do. We know that we should not be doing it. But can we trust people to make the right decisions? Can we trust people that they are going to make the right choices? If we have a universal income, everybody gets this amount of money, everybody gets paid some sort of income, some sort of some financial incentives. Are we going to trust that they're going to save the money? Are they going to invest? Are they going to school? Are they going to do the right thing? That is a question that we cannot answer as economists, and it's not a question you can answer for other, even from psychologist perspective. All we can do is just do an experiment on a few group of people and see how they behave, see how they act, and then distribute those beliefs to other culture, other groups, other members, and from regional level to country to continent and the whole world, and try to see how people behave. And at the end of the day, our goal is to study people and see if we can organize our society, make it much better. Our society move themselves around. People move around, they drive, they move, they produce, they die, they eat, they consume. All of these societal movements are meant to help people achieve the best they can ever achieve. So that is the video of today. It wasn't specifically in any specific part of the discussion, but it was productive to me. So like always, I'm gonna keep working my resume, see if I can get a job. But if you made this far, thanks for watching. Like always, bye bye, ciao ciao.